Hey guys, what's up? It's the Pajama Pants Player, the best in the world. It's John Brown, 11 and Loving Color, here with you on this dreary Wednesday afternoon. And I'll tell you what, I got out of class a little bit early today. Don't have too much work for tomorrow, and then of course after tomorrow it's the weekend because I got Fridays off, baby. Yeah, I'm that guy. But I wanted to continue my top 10, or my top 20, I guess, all-time favorite horror movie list. And last time it was George Romero's Martin, and this time we are talking about one of my favorite sequels of all time. It is Sam Raimi's Evil Dead Part 2, Dead by Dawn. So I'm sure a lot of people are really happy that I picked this. Of course, I'm not really doing in this series movies that are of the same series. Granted, I know that I do have more than one of the Dead films on, but I don't know, like it's not like it's Dawn of the Dead 2 or Day of the Dead 2. It's like theirs are more like kind of, I feel like, standalone. I feel like Romero made those zombie movies via the decade almost. I feel like they stand alone in those decades. So in that retrospect, I really don't see those movies as sequels to one another, as more as just testaments or standalone movies of that decade. But I picked Evil Dead 2 over the original Evil Dead, and I'm sure some people are very happy about that because I know there's a huge cult out there for this film, and I really can't blame them because I'm probably part of that cult. But I will preface this by saying I love the original Evil Dead. I think it's one of the greatest horror movies of all time as well. And honestly, it would be on this spot in the list if I didn't like this one better, because it's one of those movies that it's almost the opposite of this movie because it's creepy, it's suspenseful, it really kind of builds a tone, and these five kids going down to this creepy basement, and like the Hills Have Eyes I actually have the same Hills Have Eyes poster that's used in that movie. Well, not the same exact one, but similar. And I just think the Evil Dead movie, there's so many great scenes in it, and I think it's one of the greatest horror movies of all time, and I really don't want people to think that, I find it boring, or it's miles better. It's close. I just personally picked this one because I have more fun with it. And I also think that Sam Raimi, by this time, was a little bit better of a filmmaker. If you don't know the background of this movie, if you haven't seen Evil Dead 2, turn this off. Seriously, how have you not seen Evil Dead 2 if you're a horror fan? And also, if you're up to number 8 of my top 10, if you haven't seen Evil Dead 2, then you have to start watching some movies before you start watching my vids, ladies and gentlemen. But after the original Evil Dead, the movie was gaining a lot of good, on VHS, crappy VHS transfers. It was a perfect movie to rent, eat popcorn with friends, and just have a good time. Because it's one of those kinds of movies that I really like watching the gritty tone of it. I actually do not own Evil Dead on Blu-ray. I only own Evil Dead 2 on Blu-ray, and Army of Darkness, of course. But I don't know, I feel like that movie is just like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It shouldn't be seen with all the grit. It should be seen with all the grit and, disgustingness, and because that kind of sets more of an atmosphere and tone for the movie as well. But he was coming off that, and he made an awful movie, a comedy called Crime Wave in '85, I believe, and it was terrible, panned by critics. And Raimi said, basically, I'm going to make a sequel to Evil Dead because my career is going nowhere right now unless I go back to this thing that got me to the dance. And thank God Sam Raimi did, because this movie is a masterpiece, and it is one of the best comedic, fun, over-the-top horror movies of all time, if not the number one, because this movie is just, oh my God, it's loads of fun. Yeah, basically Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, and he returns to the cabin, he's all alone, and it's basically just, how long is this one? 84 minutes? Not even 90 minutes of him just kind of battling the Evil Dead in this cabin, and it's he fights his own hand, which is a hilarious scene, and he cuts it off, and that classic shot of him, it ends now, and just cuts his arm off, all the blood, and that classic shot that kind of goes circular, 180 circle. Just amazing cinematography in this movie as well. And then basically he's met up with these other characters that find, that I believe her father was reading the Necronomicon, and her parents went missing, or they were killed, obviously. And she comes to the cabin, and then Bruce Campbell has more fun, I guess, with them, and they lock him in the basement because they think he's killed their parents, and there's so many crazy things, and I just love the characters in this movie, Barbara Joe, and that kind of hillbilly guy, and all the over-the-top gore and vomit, and black vomit, and the scene where he has their deer deer heads on the wall, and it kind of turns its head like this and just starts hysterically laughing at him along with the other stuff. And then there's a great shot of Bruce Campbell again. It almost goes 180 the other way. It's just, he just turns straight to the camera with like that crazy look on his face, almost has his eyes crossed, and he starts hysterically laughing too. Like, it's just, I love Bruce Campbell's performance in this a little bit more than the first one as well too, because I think Bruce Campbell really understood that this was now going to a little bit more of the comedic route as opposed to the horror route that the original one went to, the more, I guess, plain horror route. But I think it's just an amazing little movie, and I think it's a really fun watch. I would recommend this to any new horror fan as opposed to a veteran horror fan, a horror fan that's seen movies like this hundreds and hundreds of times. And it's honestly because it's filmed so well. I think this is, I would say this is Sam Raimi's best movie, and a lot of people can disagree. I do love the original Evil Dead, and it's close. I mean, it is, if this is 1, Evil Dead is 1A when it comes to how I rank these two movies, but I honestly just have a lot of fun with this one. This is really one of those movies that everything that's been said about it has been said. It's hard for me to really add much new stuff. Of course, the montage scene of all the weapons and like all the sounds, like every time it's like he puts something down, it's a sound, cut to the next, picking something up, and then he turns the chainsaw on, whips the gun around. Groovy. You know, sorry if you can hear that phone. But I guess that's as good a place to wrap it up here, even if you can't hear the phone. But just loads of fun, great movie, fun horror movie. It's exactly what I think horror movies should be sometimes. Mindless fun, because this was an era in horror like 87, 88, 89, where, even 86, where horror started to become a little bit more goofy, but it didn't take itself seriously, and I think that's why the joke works, and I think that's why Evil Dead 2 is number 8 on my all-time top 10 favorite horror films, and Sam Raimi really, really did a great job with this one of my faves. Yeah, but that's going to be all for now. I will be back next time with number 7. Yeah, number 7. We're getting down to it. This is not the last sequel on the list either. There are actually a few more sequels on the list, and maybe next time we'll be talking about a sequel. Maybe next time we'll be talking about 2 sequels. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see, though. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for like, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you if you do it. If you don't, I love you anyway for watching me. It's a privilege to be watched by you. But that's going to be all for now. I am John Grant. I am the Pajama Pants Player. I am the best in the world, and I will see you guys later. Peace.